Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. My dear students, welcome again to your speaking skills course. I am glad to see you again. Today we will start actually our first class talking about how to practice English with native speakers, how to begin a conversation. We also cover topics like how to make a small talk, how to understand intonation in tag question, how to pay attention to a speaker's intonation, how to introduce someone, how to apologize, how to express thanks, and how to end a conversation. We'll learn all of these actually in all of these skills in formal situations. We will listen to some audios, and I want you to pay attention, physical attention, to me and to the audience, and try to understand what's going on. You may not be able to understand from the first time, but that's fine. You don't have to have a headache because of that. By the time you will learn to, you will get familiar with the language, you will get familiar with the accent, مع اللهجة. So please do not be upset because of the accent, because by the time you will get familiar with the language, with the accent of this language. Okay, let's move on. How to practice with the native speakers. When you listen, for example, to someone, you should pay attention whenever he or she emphasizes or repeats a point. Okay, whether he is a teacher or students or someone in the street, you need to pay special attention to what he or she is saying. Okay, and notice if he or she emphasizes some points or repeats some points in the audio. So there are probably in these repeated points the main ideas or important details. You may find the main ideas or important details in these repeated points. So in the audio, in the following lecture, you will hear a teacher now talk about how to learn English more quickly. So we will listen to section number 1, and then we pay attention if the teacher emphasizes or repeats points. After you listen to one section, we will stop it and then answer a question about it. So listen to the next section. Now I want you to pay physical attention just to hear it, okay? And then we have one question about it. Section number 1, again, this is your book, The Tapestry, number 2. I want each one of you to buy this textbook. We will listen now to section number 1, okay, CD number 1, section or track number 1. Okay, so section number 1, CD number 1, track number 1. Let us listen to this teacher, to the lecturer, what she is saying. Okay? Go on.
Because it's the beginning of the trimester, I'd like to give you some suggestions as to how you can learn English really fast. And most of my suggestions have nothing to do with this classroom. A lot of you told me that you think the most important thing is to come to class every day. I'm very happy that you're going to come to class every day. But I think you can probably learn more English outside the classroom than inside. I think you can make the whole world into your classroom. You can make every person around you into a teacher. But in my mind, the best teacher in the world is yourself. Because each person learns differently, and you know how you learn best. I think you can be a really good teacher to yourself. You can use me, you can use your other teacher, strangers as helpers. But I can't give you some magical English pill. You can't come to class and open your mouth and put in the pill and, you learn English. That doesn't work. But I can help you. I can answer your questions and I can guide you a little bit. But basically, I want you to be in control of your own language learning career here at this school.
So that was the teacher's speech. She's talking to her students about why should we learn the language, English language, why it's important. And the first question to our first class, to our first section, sorry, who is the best teacher according to the speaker? The teacher said during her speech or short talk to her students that the best teacher in the world is yourself. So, if we look at the answers here, so she said, does she say that a strict teacher who gives a lot of homework and does all the talking? Do you want me to talk all the time and do your homeworks? So she said no. This is not the answer. It's incorrect. Does she say that a friendly teacher who lets the students talk a lot? So do you want me to leave you talking whatever you want without guiding you? She said no. She said that the best teacher is you, the learner, the student. Okay, let us move on. In section number 2, here the teacher will give you a lot of examples of where to practice English outside of a classroom. So, what examples does she give? Okay, again, in this section number 2, the teacher will give you a lot of examples where to practice English outside the classroom. Let us listen.
Section 2.
One way that you can do that, as a few of you mentioned a few minutes ago, is to make small talk. I think that's what you were talking about when you said talk with people in the supermarket or at the bus stop. Great. Talk with strangers. Make small talk. When you're at the bus stop, say, oh, boy, this bus is always late, isn't it? And start a small conversation with the person. In the supermarket, in the produce section, you can start a conversation with a stranger over the tomatoes or something. You can complain that, boy, look, these tomatoes are almost green. They're terrible. And you'll find that people are very friendly. You can have a very short, safe conversation. When you're waiting in line at the supermarket, you know a person's really great to practice on? A mother with a little baby. That may be different in different cultures, but in this culture, if the woman in front of you has a little baby and you say, oh, what a beautiful baby, the woman is just going to smile. She's going to grin from ear to ear. They'll say to it, and you'll start a short conversation. There are many places. Here at school, at break time, don't look for people who speak your language. Look for people who don't speak your language.
Okay, so here she gives us a lot of examples where to practice our English. First of all, she gave us an example in the supermarket. You can just start a short conversation with someone in the supermarket, like asking him, oh man, today this price is high. The price of tomato is high. سعر البندورة عالي جدا. Or the price of rice is too high, okay, or expensive. So this is how can you start a conversation in a supermarket. You don't want to ask him questions about his personal life, right? You're going to ask him questions about the prices of the food. Also, so now you practice English in the supermarket, right? Or for example, if you stand in line, كان في طابور أو صف كبير طويل, go, wow, this line is so long. So this is how you can start a conversation in a supermarket. Also, you can using your English in the bus stop. You said, oh, the bus is too late. The bus is too late. And then the other person will say, yes, it's too late. So we start now practicing English in the bus stop. Also in school. She gives you a very good advice. The advice is, do not speak to the people who speak your language. ما في فايدة, there is no benefit to speak with Arab people in school, because they will only speak Arabic. You are a specialist, English specialist. So if you want to practice English, just speak to the people who speak English. ما في داعي to feel that you are embarrassed or shy to speak in English. Just go ahead. So these are the 3 places that she preferred to practice her English. Okay, let's move on. In section 3, the teacher talks about her friend Sarah, or Sarah. So she will mention 4 things that Sarah do to learn English. Let us listen and check the answers. Listen, please.
Let me tell you about a friend of mine. Her name is Sarah. I met her many years ago, 100 years ago, when we were going to college. Not quite 100 years ago, but almost. We were both going to college, and she was from Paraguay, South America. Her English was pretty terrible, and my Spanish was pretty terrible. But we managed to communicate. In those days, at least at my college, there were no ESL classes. So she didn't have any help at all with her English. They just threw her into biology classes and history classes, English classes with American students, no ESL. So she had to become her own teacher. She had to teach herself English. And the way she did it was really interesting. She had a little notebook, and she spoke with everybody. She was not shy. That helped. She talked with everybody. She made small talk with strangers everywhere, but also she used her friends, and she used to tell us, you have to tell me if I make a mistake in my grammar. We didn't. We never corrected her. But she was a very good listener. And if we said something differently from the way she normally said it, she remembered that. Or if we used an idiom, she would take out her little notebook and say, wait, what was that again? How do you spell that? Now what does that mean? And so basically she taught herself English, but she used us as helpers. You know what she's doing today? Exactly. She's teaching English at a high school here in the city, and she taught herself. And she didn't have the benefit of an ESL class.
So again, now Sarah started asking her friends, how can I learn the language? If I make a mistake in a grammar, I want you to correct me. So this is what she said. So she asked her friends for help, because she said, if I made a mistake in a grammar, I want you to correct me. And she started talking to people, everyone. And then she has a notebook. This notebook to write the new vocabulary, the new words that may come to her mind. So 3 ways how to learn or how to practice your English. Just do like Sarah. She talked to people who speak English, and she asked her friends for help to check her grammar, and then she has a notebook, دفتر صغير, and I do the same, by the way, to write the new vocabularies. Good. Let us move on. And then she was listening carefully, by the way. She was listening. This is the most important idea in listening and speaking and listening skills. You need to listen carefully, to pay physical attention. Okay? Well, CD number 4, I want you now to go to your textbook and open the CD. It's available in the back right here. There's a CD, and I want you to play section number 4. Okay, it is the audio is actually track number 4. So once you open the CD, you will be having track number 4. Track, it's written like this one. Track 4. Listen to this track and try to answer the question right here. I will leave it to you. Okay, thank you. Let us move now. Here, beginning a conversation and making a small talk. As you can see right here, when you seek out speakers as conversations partners and make a small talk with them, this is one good way to practice your English, by the way, is to find some friends from the United States of America, from the United Kingdom, from Australia, from those countries who speak English fluently, and start make small conversation just about the weather, for example. I will give you now a list of topics how to start a conversation in one situation. So there are certain situations in which it is possible to have a very short conversation with a stranger. شو يعني stranger؟ شخص ما بتعرفه. In other words, to make a small talk with him or with her. ولما أحكي small talk, it means a short, like as short as 2 sentences or 3 sentences. Okay, like okay. Imagine I'm standing now at the bus stop. Oh, the bus is too late. The other person will say, yes, it's too late. So this is a small talk. You know what I mean? So small talk, it means 2 or 3 sentences. It's short one. How to begin a conversation? How do people politely begin a conversation with a stranger? These are questions that you may have in your mind. How do I politely begin a conversation with someone I don't know? Does it depend on my culture? How acceptable is it in your country to begin conversations with the sentences in the chart and the following? For example, now I want you to put in your mind or in your screen Y for sentences that people say are polite, and X for sentences that are impolite. Okay? Now here I will put these Y and X according to my beliefs, okay, according to my culture. For example, this is one situation at the bus stop. At the bus stop, everyone stops at the bus stop, right? Then you ask, it's too hot today, isn't it? Yes, it is. So yeah, we do this. We can ask about the weather at the bus stop. At the post office, for example, you can start a conversation over there. This line is really slow, isn't it? So we do it. Sometimes when you go to Banda or supermarket and you find a line of people, and this is a slow one. So you will ask the people, you will start saying like, this line is really slow, isn't it? So we do it. For example, we can start a conversation at the wedding party. It's nice to have a chance to celebrate, isn't it? And usually in our Arab culture, we celebrate with each other, right? Celebrate معناها يحتفل. So these are, some advices, some sentences, some questions that you may use to start a short conversation with other people. Okay, for example, in the supermarket, these tomatoes look terrible, don't they? لما يكون بندور use, like they last for like عمرهم أكثر من يومين أو أسبوعين. So these tomatoes look terrible, don't they? So this is also, you can also ask about the prices. These tomatoes cost us a lot. The price of these tomatoes are high, are expensive. Okay, so we use this one. On the bus, for example, if you actually, get into the bus, you may sit next to someone and you ask him, what country you are from? I am from Jordan. You're welcome. You're welcome. See, this is a very small talk, but you need to speak it out. So you have no problem from now on to speak to someone on the bus. If you go to the United States or UK, you can start a short conversation with them. You just say, what country you are from? You should be, or he may ask you, you will actually say, I come from Saudi Arabia. So this is kind of a small talk. And also, you can speak and practice and start a conversation anywhere. For example, can you lend me some money, please? You can ask about the money in the university, at your home, on the streets, in the supermarket, everywhere. And also in a museum. Definitely you will visit some museums in Europe or in the Arab world or whatever. And you will see a wonderful painting, and then you will say, oh, this is a wonderful painting, isn't it? The other person will say, yes, yes it is. So this is how you can start actually a small conversation. So as you can see here, we have almost the same culture with others. You may ask, for example, the American or British or Australian or the Canadian questions, or you can start a conversation with him or her at the bus stop, at the post office, at a wedding, in a supermarket, in a bus, anywhere, in a museum. So there is no difference now. There is no even difficulty. There is no culture shock, because they will have the same answer as you expect. Now, with your partner, whether you're a friend, you're a brother, your sister, your neighbors, you can do the following. Just work with them or her to pretend you are in the situations below. As you can see, this man, he's sitting where? In a supermarket, right? In a supermarket. So, what kind of questions you will ask? Oh, the price of rice, as you can see, it's a price. The price of rice is high. He will say, then, the price of rice is high, isn't it? He will say, yes, it is. See? For example, in the bus stop right here. Oh, the bus is too late, isn't it? The other person right here will say, yes, it is. So I've started a small and short conversation. Also, in this picture, he's looking at painting. Oh, this painting is wonderful, isn't it? He will say, yes, it is. So, can you see how I've started short conversation? Cool. Let's move on. The sound of it, understanding, intonation, and tag questions. You know, the tag question, we often use a conversation with a sentence that includes a tag question. A tag question. We add a tag to a sentence and it becomes a question. Our voices in the tag question goes up on the tag if we are not sure about the answers. So our voices أصواتنا ترتفع on the tag if you are not sure about the answers. هذا هو التag question right here. It actually comes at the end. It comes at the end of a sentence. This is what we call tag question. So if our voices goes up on the tag, it means we are not sure about the answers. For example, look at this example right here. You will do it quickly, won't you? صوتي at the end, the صوت goes up بيرتفع. So my voice went up, goes up on the tag because I was not sure about the answers. So it becomes a real question because I'm not sure, I need answer. So when I say, you're English students, aren't you? You said yes. Because when I say aren't you, it means I want an answer from you. I'm not sure about the answer. So I need answer, okay? So again, will you do it quickly? You will do it quickly. Want you? Want you? يعني will not you. Okay? لاحظوا إنه إذا كانت في هذه الجملة will positive, here it should be negative. يعني لازم نضيف not. Okay? بينما our voices goes down in the tag if we already know the answer and just are making small talk. For example, look here. John and Mark aren't English, are they? There's a difference. I didn't say, are they? Are they? كان في هون falling down. It goes down. So the answer, I know the answer because they are not English. And see, here it is negative, there is not. In the tag question, it should be positive. It should be positive without not. It should be positive. Okay. Let us now listen and repeat right here.
The sound of it. Page 11. Understanding intonation in tag questions.
We often begin a conversation with a sentence that includes
Okay.
Any fresh fruit anywhere, do you? No. There isn't any non-fat yogurt either, is there? Of course not.
And repeat.
Okay,
Number
right here.
1B. Listen.
Now listen and repeat. This is the exercise I want you to listen to.
Number 1. Unsure of the answer.
The food is awful, isn't it?
Now you repeat after her. You just pay attention to how the way she say it.
Sure of the answer.
The food is awful, isn't it?
Number 2. Unsure of the answer.
You don't see any fresh fruit, do you?
You don't see any fresh food, do you? So here I am unsure about the answer. This is because I need an answer now. I want to hear from you an answer. This is what I mean.
Sure of the answer.
You don't see any fresh fruit, do you?
You don't see any fresh fruit, do you? Do you? كان نازل الصوت. It goes down. Here I'm sure about the answer. Okay. You don't see any fresh food, do you? Which means I'm sure about the answer. Okay, but if I said, you don't see any fresh food, do you? Here in this situation, I'm unsure about the answer, and this is a real question. Okay, let us listen one more time.
Number 3. Unsure of the answer.
There isn't any yogurt, is there?
There isn't any yogurt, is there?
Sure of the answer.
There isn't any yogurt, is there?
There isn't any yogurt, is there? See the difference
Number
now.
4.
Number 4.
Unsure of the answer.
There's lots of sugar, isn't there?
There's a lot of sugar, isn't there? There's a lot of sugar, isn't there? So this is how to be unsure of the answer and sure of the answer, okay? And please do it again at your home or at your office. Now, I want you to pay attention to speaker's intonation. As you have seen, intonation tag question carries meanings. إلها بتحمل معنى. If the voice goes up, the person is unsure of the answer and is asking a real question. If the voice goes down, the person already knows the answer and is just making small talk. So paying attention to intonation will help you better understand a speaker's meaning. Notice the grammar in tag question. If the verb in the main clause is if affirmative, the verb in the tag, اللي هي last two words, is negative. إذن if the verb in the main clause, هذا هو المين clause, is affirmative. شو يعني affirmative? Positive. ما في معونات. The tag question should be negative. Should be negative. If the هذه أول قاعدة. الثانية, rule number 2, if the verb in the main clause is negative, the verb in the tag last two words is affirmative. This is an example. Here, this is the main word. It isn't very windy today, is it? So here in the main clause, the main verb is negative. So the verb in the tag question should be affirmative or positive. So I want each one of you to work with a partner. Have a very short conversation for each situation. One person begins with a tag question with a voice going down at the end. The other person answer and use the cue words. For example, this is one situation I've done. The situation, two people are at the bus stop, okay? The cue words, it means like the most important words, okay, in this situation. It's a bus, late again, and yes. Student number 1, the bus is late again, isn't it? See, the bus is late again, isn't it? Can مرتفع, isn't it? The students, yes it is. Students B said, yes it is. So I want you to write down a conversation between two people and just speak with the voice goes up and voice goes down, both of them. So here we have also some expressions that we can use in conversations. In this line, we have actually some situations that we can use some expression. For example, if you want to introduce someone, your friend, your brother, your father, you can use like expressions like, look at me, I would like you to meet my brother, or this is my brother, this is a friend of mine. Have you met my brother? So this is actually speaker number A. He can introduce someone by using these expressions. Then the response might be, nice to meet you, or glad to meet you, pleased to meet you. Okay, and this is number B. Or if you want to end a conversation, okay, you can say, well, I have to go, or I have got to run to my office. Or you can say goodbye, or see you later, I will see you next time, or have a good day, have a good weekend. So this is number A. Number B, response is good. I have to go now, but I will see you, I will call you. Or you can say, it has been good seeing you or talking to you. Or you can say, talk to you soon, or keep in touch, or stay in touch. Some of you may ask me how to express thank you. For example, you can say thanks, thank you very much, how thoughtful, that was a very kind of you, I appreciate it, I am very grateful. And the response is going to be, you're welcome, don't mention it, ما عليك, for example. Also, you can ask or give an apology. Apology معناها اعتذار. oh, I am very sorry. Excuse me. Forgive me. سامحني. It was my fault. كان خطأي. So once you hear these expressions, know that the person gives you an apology. You should respond, no problem. You can use these responses. No problem. That's okay. That's all right. Or you can say, don't worry about it. So, as you can see, I gave here some common expressions in conversations to you. We have 3 actually or 4 situations: to introduce someone, to end a conversation, and to express thanks, and to give an apology, and their responses. So I want to now, once you're looking at this video, watching this video, I want you to make a short conversation using these common expressions. For example, here are some situations. By mistake, you just stepped on someone's foot. This is a situation. أنت ماشي دعس على رجل واحد. دست عليها. What you can say. شو ممكن تقول؟ I'm sorry. لازم, you should give an apology. اعتذار. Or you are introducing a friend to your parents. Have you met my friend? Have you met my friend? أو مثلا a situation like you're talking with a friend at a school but you need to leave because you have a class. What should you say? I will leave it to you. I want you to write here what you can say in this situation. Finally, and all in all, I want everyone to do the following exercises. Okay? Again, this is your textbook, Tapestry. We have chapter number 1, today, number 1, and track. This is TR, it means track in the audio. The exercise B, listen and repeat, page 11. Page معناها الصفحة. Then we have chapter 1, the same here. Track number 7, apply strategy. We have also situations and keywords, like this one, the exercise we have done before. It's page 13. And we also have part 3, getting ready to listen, page 13 as well. And the last homework is actually track 8. The benefits, the goal of these too much homework, I know, is just to get benefits, to get familiar with the language. So please do all of these homeworks. Hopefully that you have enjoyed our class today. We have covered so many things today. And if you have any question, just send me an email at the email I have provided, and I will actually give you my phone number. It's actually already provided. So I will see you next time. Thank you so much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.